Those things will kill you.
Yeah, well, they can get in line.
Paradise is my new favorite show. I've been having dreams about this show for the last 2 days. It is ingrained in my brain. I can't stop it. And now I just binge it every single time I got a chance to watch it.
Yes.
Now it is incredible.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Thank you, Joe.
Made our day.
Of course, Sterling, the relationship between Agent Collins and President Bradford is central to the story. How does that dynamic evolve, and how does it affect Bradford? How does it affect Collins even after the president's death?
It's such a complicated relationship. Like, I think there was real affinity between these two people. And I think because Xavier allowed himself to think that they were friends. This is interesting, that he's felt a very deep betrayal when things didn't go the way that he thought they were supposed to, right? And it's interesting because I also, like, from a 60,000 view, I very much side with the president too, who's got 1,000,001 things to deal with. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you said you were going to do this and you didn't make it happen. So I think when we meet them at the beginning of the show, it's like, there's been a thawing, there's been a cooling off, because obviously I am in grief. The person who is most important to me in life is no longer a part of my life, and I directly blame him for that. Whether that is fair or not, I'll leave to the audience decide as they watch the show unravel.
Now, every single episode had me hooked, but episode 7 felt so cinematic to me. It was as if I was watching a film. I had my headphones on, and when everything was coming in, I felt it. Now, James, the president's death is a key turning point in Paradise. How does Cal Bradford set the tone for the story before his tragic demise?
Well, I mean, yeah, you see him lying on the floor in the first episode, but then in that same first episode, you see the beginning. You see the beginning. You see who he is as a human being, the relationship, the first meeting with Xavier. I imagine that the audience is like, okay, well, this is these two very different human beings who are going to begin working together, and one of them ends up bleeding out on the floor. So, yeah, I think this sets the stage in a sense of like, all right, well, you know, we reveal after the first episode that we're in this very unique community, and this murder that takes place is within this community, and how does that wreak havoc on what's going on that is revealed? Is that vague enough? But how it sets the tone. I mean, to me, it's like it's a beautiful journey to see what these two. The journey that these two go on and how complicated it gets, and but yeah, I think you know, it's you see with his character and with mine the disparity of class, of position, of power, and those things definitely come into focus as we move through the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Sterling, Dan Fogelman, he's a genius. He's known for creating these emotionally resonating stories with rich characters. Yeah. How does Paradise reflect his signature storytelling style in this high-stakes political thriller?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of use of flashback, which we sort of saw very much in the fabric of This Is Us, right? And there is a propulsive engine. So, like, it's a political thriller, right, that starts off with the murder and you're trying to figure out who done it, right? But they're still trying to figure out the deeper mystery that is sort of transpiring around that as well. And I think even with This Is Us, you have a family drama that is so rich in these very complicated relationships based upon their past. And then he still has the engine, at least for the first 2 seasons, of like, oh, the dad's not there. How did that happen? You know, so Dan has a way of like delving deep into human stories that are intricate and rich in and of themselves, but also laying like another thing on top of that shit that has people sort of glued to the front of their seat being like, all right, I can't wait to see how this all comes together. Like, I know that something happened, but I'm still waiting to see the actual intricacies of how slot A goes into peg B or whatever, you know, vice versa.
Yeah, the show is incredible. Every single character is fantastic. It is my new favorite show. Thank you guys so much for your time. Amazing job. I love this show.
You the man, Joe.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you do.